We'll give out this afternoon is the Survivor of the Year Award, and that goes to Melody Seeger of Ladonia. Melody's friends call her a thriver rather than a survivor. Melody has taken a very tragic experience in her life to assist a community network address the issues surrounding suicide prevention. Melody's mother completed suicide when she was 16 years old. Her journey since then has been long, but she has changed the initial embarrassment into remembering her mother for the loving person that she truly was. At the age of 25, Melody personally suffered from depression, but fortunately she had caring and non-judgmental shoulders of friends to lean on. Melody believes that in her depression, she actually experienced some of the same suffering that her mother went through. And from that moment on, Melody knew that her mission was one of helping others. She began participating in Out of the Darkness walks and discovered that she could now tell her personal journey as a survivor and talk about her mother's suicide. Melody's goal is to bring suicide prevention training to all of the Callaway County school districts for students, teachers, and staff. She has a very encouraging approach, and with the support of her friends, her family, and her coworkers, Melody pursues her vision of an American Foundation of Suicide Prevention chapter here in Central Missouri. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please give a warm round of applause to Melody Seeger.
First of all, I would like to thank several agencies who have given me support or offered guidance as I organized the first Out of the Darkness walk, Survivors of Suicide Remembrance Day conference in Fulton. I would like to thank the Missouri Suicide Prevention Project, the Department of Mental Health, the Fulton State Hospital, and the Callaway County COAD. A special thank you to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention for the support you give to survivors of suicide loss and those who are or who have struggled with suicide. The opportunities you give to those communities to raise money for your charity and to use a portion of that money in their community to put programs in schools, as well as offer outreach programs for the public, is a great testament to the wonderful charity that you are. I would also like to thank AFSP for the opportunity to serve as the District 9 Volunteer Field Advocate and to be able to help give those we have lost a voice and those who struggle every day with mental illness to be their voice. For me, it is a huge honor to be their voice. I would like to thank my husband, Robert, and my daughter, Amber, for the encouragement and support to start the Out of the Darkness walk. Thank you to my coworkers who have been there for me and helped me plan the walk. And anytime I have called you, you were willing to take time out of your busy day to help. April, a special thank you to you for all your support and hours of hard work that you put into each project I have asked you to do and helping me to make each one of them a huge success. Thank you to Peggy Reed-Lohmeyer, Artie Martin-Foreman, Scott Perkins, Rusted Trimp, Pam Phelps, and Miley Dunn and LaDonna Zimmerman for encouraging me to start the Out of the Darkness walk. And every time I ask for something, help or direction, you have all supported my efforts. I want to thank you for this award, even though I never expected to get recognized for any of the work that my friends and I have done. Prevention, education, and awareness is quite simply something that I am passionate about. As a survivor of suicide loss and someone who struggled for years after the loss of my mother with depression, I cannot express enough how important it is to detect depression and mental illness early and know the warning signs of suicide. It is also important to know when it is time to ask for help and not be scared of the stigma that is sometimes attached to mental illness and depression. Early treatment and detection is key to preventing suicide. I have to thank my stepmom and Jane Hall for always being that support system for me. I can tell you that I have come a long way in the 20 years since I lost my mother to suicide, but we are still speaking in just a whisper to compare to how loudly we need to speak about suicide and depression. The stigma that is attached to depression and mental illness is better than it was 20 years ago. But we completely need to erase that stigma. No one should have to feel so ashamed of their mental illness or depression that they choose not to seek treatment. Suicide should not be an alternative to treatment simply because we are too ashamed to ask or seek it out. Suicide should not be an option simply because one cannot afford to get the treatment. I have just begun the work that I want to do in my community. It is my goal that we have an AFSP chapter in Central Missouri in the next 5 years, and that every school in Central Missouri, we have programs that teach parents, educators, teens, about depression, mental illness, and warning signs of suicide. And that everyone knows when it is time to get help. It is my hope that schools make this part of their curriculum. I would like to see more outreach programs and education classes in the community, such as QPR classes and mental health first aid classes, and support groups for those newly bereaved survivors of suicide loss, so they don't have to feel so alone. I hope that people start to know what to do in a mental health crisis and know the warning signs, just like we know how to call 911. As someone who has not only experienced depression, but has lost someone to suicide, I can tell you, for me, if the work I am doing saves just one life and prevents one child from burying their parent, or one parent from burying their child, then that is a greater gift than any award given here today. We survivors would give anything for others not to experience our pain. We also know that we are in a club that no one wants to be a member of. Survivors of suicide loss, like many of us here today, would agree that our club has far too many members. We sadly know that our numbers grow every day and our work is far from over. Again, thank you for this award, and it is my honor to receive it.
The next award is the Youth Award, and it goes to Ashley Howery of St.